I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Today we're reading from the Song of Solomon, chapter 3, and let's focus on verses 1 through 5. By night on my bed I sought the one I love. I sought him, but I did not find him. I will rise now, I said, and go about the city. In the streets and in the squares I will seek the one I love. I sought him, but I did not find him. The watchmen who go about the city found me. And I said, have you seen the one I love? Scarcely had I passed by them when I found the one I love. I held him and would not let him go until I had brought him to the house of my mother and into the chamber of her who conceived me. I charge you, O daughters of Jerusalem, by the gazelles or by the does of the field, do not stir up nor awaken love until it pleases. Just to review, Song of Solomon is one of the Bible's poetic books, and its purpose is to use creative imagery and picturesque language, subtlety and repetition in order to teach wisdom with respect to marriage. And the perspective is historical, literal. These are real people and living in scenes that Solomon observed. And even though the style is poetry, there is no indicator that Solomon is not writing about two actual people whom he observed, and he exclaimed, now this is it. Even though I have 1,000 wives and concubines, I have never experienced the kind of love that these two have. And since the style is poetic, and there is no structured timeline per se, we must glean these little micro lessons and then put them together to get a vivid picture of what God is trying to communicate in this Song of Songs, the greatest love song ever written. Under the banner that marital love is exclusive, in chapter 1, verse 4, well then we learn that exclusivity involves time. And in chapter 2, verse 14, we learn that quality time demands not just our presence, but also our attention. And here in verse 16 of the same chapter, we see how for love to be exclusive, there must be a sense of ownership. And that's exactly what the Apostle Paul exhorts us to grasp with respect to our relationship with Jesus. After all, we are the bride of the Messiah, and we are exclusively His. So today, in a dream sequence, a narrative, we focus on a series of pursuits. And once again, she's dreaming. It confirms the legitimacy of female pursuit, at least in an established relationship. Girl pursuing boy. You see, this is quite different from the image that we warn our daughters against. You know, the girl who chases after every cute boy that she sees is a sure sign of a poor self-image and signals deeper issues with an unhealthy need for male affirmation. Again, this is the Song of Songs, the love of loves. And so this is a proper and a real example of the necessity of both the man and the woman to affirm that their spouse is worth pursuing. And let's be honest, those of us who have been married for more than a couple of years even have looked at our spouses and wondered, what happened to those days? Where did they go? Those days when we were hard pursuing after one another. Was pursuing one another just a phase where we wanted each other, but once we obtained one another, we're left to wonder, okay, well, now that I caught you, what's next? You know, I heard Adrian Rogers say one day that there's a lot of boys who fell in love with a dimple and then realized they married the whole woman. Joyful marriage is not simply a goal or an object to be obtained, but then brushed aside for the next conquest. No, a joyful marriage is a choice that you make to wake up every day, to communicate to our spouses that we still desire them and that they're still worth pursuing. And we must not awaken love before it's time, but once awakened, we must never let love fall back to sleep. I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. You know, Groundworks Ministries operates entirely through financial donations from faithful people like you. And yes, we do need monthly support. Donating is secure and it's easy at our website, groundworksministries.com. You know, another way to help is to tell people about us. Share these podcasts with friends and family and on your social media. And of course, you can always direct folks to our website, groundworksministries.com.